Good morning, ex-Britain First Crusader man, David here. Yes, a lot of you guys may remember me. I've been for a rough few months. You may remember me in my Knights Templar outfit. It was entirely my own idea, of course, which Paul liked. My ex-partner, who I can't name, obviously, was very critical. She called Britain First a bunch of weirdos and pedos for a long time during my 4 years as a member of Britain First. However, what I want to go on to is how Paul Golding and Andrew Edge were ringing my ex-partner, my far younger ex-partner, she's 29 at the time, and were promising her, loyalty and good party times, drugs, free sex. I mean, she'd sent some very dirty text to Craig. Craig's noticeable, but he's got a beautiful tattoo of Winston Churchill on his arm. But what I want to get on about is how basically I've got thrown out of my own family home, away from my three, lovely kids, using Cheshire Police duplicity. In particular, the constable involved is PC Bradley Field. His number's PC's 30367. Yes, I've met him a couple of times. I spoke to him recently regarding a seized laptop, and I pointed out to him for the second time. I pointed out to him that their main witness in their civil case, paid for by Paul Golding, to get me thrown out of my own house to help Lisa, I beg your pardon, to help my ex-partner. Yes, was paid for entirely using Paul Golding's money. Well, he would do this because he, my ex-partner, who I won't name, I previously had accepted money off him under my nose, messages, flattery, money, to go and stay in a double room in a hotel suite in London on this 24th of July, 23rd, 24th of July in the summer. And obviously, I mean, they're just friends. They may have stayed all night in a hotel room, and Andrew Edge may have had a go, but obviously they must just be friends. The way she admitted to Warrington Court, lying to the police, saying I was being aggressive, which I wasn't. This was all a set-up. I mean, Paul Golding was actually in contact with Callum Doyle, the somewhat poor imitation Crusader man, whose mother just happens to be Britain First solicitor. Yes, Britain First solicitor, who put the case together, who set me up, lock, stock and barrel, to get rid of me, to help my ex-partner, to help her get me out. Well, the fact is, all this woman had to do over many years, if she wanted to get away, was put her name on the housing list. I said so years ago. I said, this is like 10 years ago, when she was already messaging other men, younger men, because she's under half my age, so you can understand her being fed up with me. We've always had, we've had 3 lovely children. We've always had, off and on healthy relations, despite what she may have told the idiots like Steve Coventry, who she was talking to for a year, and he only actually went out with her for like 2 weeks, and he dumped her. Yeah, he dumped her because he's a classic player. Anyway, there's a lot of corruption in Cheshire Police. And certainly in the magistrates, they obviously got some admiration for Paul Golding. I can quite understand this to some extent. However, I can tell you from talking to Jada Franson, she was the main person in Britain First. She is a true Christian. Paul Golding and Andrew Edge are just perverts, just money-making perverts. I should point out that Golding is a notoriously Jewish name, as Shaw, as Goldberg, as Goldstein, like Judge Goldston, who did the report on the Israeli massacres. A Jewish name. I'm not saying this could have been from his grandfather, or he could just be an undercover Jew. I'm not having a go at Jewish people. Some of them are fine, clever individuals, though not in his case. I also had to teach Paul about the Armenian massacre, Armenian genocide of 1915. He didn't know anything about it. When I was talking to PC Field, just about 2 weeks ago, it was regarding a laptop which they seized, which they shouldn't have done, which, as you know, the powers that be are very quick to seize such goods and very slow to give them back. So I want my old laptop back. especially, it's very inconvenient not to have it. Now I've got a smartphone, it's not so bad. But I happen to break the news to PC Phillips. Bradley, how are you doing, Bradley? Hello. Don't worry, the complaint to the Chief Constable is on its way, but there's two separate ones actually, because this man has been so duped by this tart, and very poor mother, who in September was walking around a house with a large, super sharp chef's butcher's knife, threatening to kill me and kill herself. Yes, this is the woman that's in charge of 3 kids, including 1 disabled 12-year-old. Yeah, seriously. Disgraceful, isn't it? Of course, she's very good at playing the victim, like her mother did before her. She's an endemic liar. She's a systematic liar. She's lied to me over years and years and years. She has had casual sex with many, many men. I don't know how many exactly. I mean, I remember before Rosie was born, I actually smelt cum, where I hadn't been for a couple of weeks, several weeks. She moved this very same Simon Bosworth, who perjured himself to get me out of the house using Britain First money, has received money from Britain First on several occasions, yes, to babysit my kids when she went to get to Scrooge Golding in this hotel room. Well, it was probably Golding, Andy, and a few others, to be honest, because she is up for it. I mean, this is why she sent these texts to Craig in front of me after me, after asking to come up and me giving her, Sammy, Danielle, and myself obviously a lift and handing out leaflets all day. She went out of her way to disrespect me. She was saying to this guy, "Don't talk to DH Dave, I'll give you a good suck later. I'll suck you off," in fact, is what she said in one of the texts. And they all knew about it. It was flashed throughout the group. Foolishly really, I resigned, which I shouldn't have done really, but since it's down to her slutty nature. But anyway, cut long story short, I've been dragged out of the house. I've not forgiven her one bit. I never want to see my kids ever again, or possibly all of her. She's used her manipulative terms, her unreasonable Nazi narcissistic behaviour. She's completely turned my 10-year-old against me. She said to the school, "Oh, I'm glad Dad's left. No more random arguments." Well, that is a quote straight from my mum, because she knows she can't stand arguing, understandably, but she knows very well, the idea was to get me out of the way, so when the kids are in bed and when she can have these drug dealers around. One of these, she's now basically a party girl prostitute. She has got a drug habit, definitely. I don't know if it's speed, I suspect. The weight has fell off her. Since parting company, shall we say, with her, I've actually been to some of these parties where single mums supply the sex, and these guys who've got a few drug dealers, usually criminals, supply the spice and the nitrous oxide balloons and the cocaine and everything. I'm not into drugs. I've never really touched any of it, but it just shows, what she's